guys, welcome back to Bookish. I'm here today with a returning guest, Abby. We're going to talk about The Hunger Games and the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, specifically the movie. But Abby and I are both kind of obsessed with this series and just like dystopian in general. But I feel like you have like a different angle of like dystopian love. But I don't know. So I just wanted to kind of talk about like theories or thoughts or whatever. Do you have like, what was like your rating of the movie, would you say?
So I really like just saw the Ballad, and it was weird because I tried to kind of, you know how like something comes out and you're like, oh, I got to rewatch everything before and then watch it. It's kind of like the way the movie is formatted and the way that the lore is displayed in the movie, it kind of makes you. Like, I had to actually go back and re-watch them after I watched the movie because it is the prequel. And so, like, being able to compare, like, the young Snow to what we see happen in the newer one, or the older, it's hard to explain. Yeah. The first ones that came out, it's kind of crazy to be like, you can piece together every single little thing he does. Like, it's just... Yeah, it's really cool. And I feel like dystopian... Hunger Games was like my introduction to dystopian. It was kind of like my... I don't know. It was my gateway book. And it was the first time I ever binged a series, too. Like, it was the first time I ever, like, I have to have it. I have to have it.
Well, my family, we went to theaters together to see the movie, obviously, but then afterwards we're like, okay, let's watch all of the first 3 or 4, I think. And it was, like, really weird to see. Like, I appreciated it more, like, having seen that one and then going back, because then you can, like, see it with a better perspective instead of just seeing them in chronological, because, like, I already know what happens, like, the basic plot points, you know? So, like, seeing, like, the little details I think was really cool. But, like, I don't know. It kind of also awakened me to, like, I mean, like, yeah, the Hunger Games movies were good, I guess, but it was, like, 2012 or something? So I'm, like... Some of the stuff was just so 2012, like the font choices and like certain things, like they would use like a word font. Yeah, no, they literally, it's so funny, but I think it would have been cool to see like
Comic Sans. What?
One very similar, like adjacent to that. I don't know what it's called,
typewriter.
But it's like it was something like that, and I think it just would have been cool to see kind of like what. It's like, so it's the font with...
looking it up.
No, it's the font that they use for, like, the introduction paragraph when they're explaining the Hunger Games. So you can say, like, Hunger Games intro, opening, credit scenes. You'll know, if you go to images, maybe it'll
Gothic medium. It's me.
Is that to the right? The third one. The third one.
Oh, no. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one. It's so funny because they just use like
henceforth and
forevermore.
Like, I just think it's so funny how they had to like info dump at the beginning. Like, maybe I don't remember quite if it was in the book. I remember them doing
that originally though. Like when I first watched it, like when I rewatched it, I didn't know that it had like a little Star Wars type like recap. I didn't know that it did that. I don't remember it doing that when I used to watch it.
I just think like this last book was so well done, and the movie's like just the filmography and all this stuff. Even though like the world was kind of smaller in the Hunger Games, like it just kind of went faster. But, like, I think I'm like, oh, it would have been so cool if we could see, like, the first books done with this kind of quality. And, like, not that it was bad quality. Everyone's like, it's so good. But I'm like, some of this was so cheesy. Like, it was so funny to me.
I have a controversial opinion. I actually prefer the way the first one was filmed.
Do you think?
Because I feel like... The new one, yes, it was beautiful and amazing, but I feel like the thing that I liked so much about Hunger Games, like just the first movie, was whenever, like, you know, it's all about, like, dirty, scary, like, survival, dystopian, crazy, like, and it's so, when they filmed it, you can tell it's a lot more rugged and it's a lot more, like, natural. It feels a lot more authentic. Like, you can see the person chasing her is probably literally running with the camera on his shoulder. And so it's kind of like that really makes it feel more real to me rather than oh, this is just a portrayal of a book. It's more like we are seeing this happen through her eyes and how like it would look in real life versus how the new one's just very cinematic, which is also good.
I would argue that yes, you are right, because it's from Katniss's perspective. This is from Corio's perspective in the capital, so I feel like it shows like a capital
more refined
version, which kind
That's
of is
fair.
like, it kind of makes sense. I feel like for this one to have come so later, like it just kind of worked out perfectly. I feel like this is like more just, I don't know, like just well done cinematically. And
it's definitely like arguably better.
Like the shaky camera, I'm like, but
but I love it.
But it's like
She's like
you're
running
right.
through the woods. You like can't see anything. There's smoke everywhere.
It's more survivally than like people die all the time in movies nowadays. Just like we're desensitized to it now. But like that movie was like, oh shit, like this is like real. Like people are murdering people to survive. Like you don't see that.
Yeah, and I feel like in the original one. And also, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong about this, but I think even the first one was still filmed by completely different people than Catching Fire and Mockingjay. I'm pretty sure they were all filmed by, like, different groups of people. I heard that somewhere. I don't know if that's
What's your ranking of all of the movies?
I think I'd have to say I like Catching Fire the most. I think that's my number one, just because either Catching Fire or the first, just Hunger Games. And then I think that Mockingjay was also very good. I just don't like that book because I don't like the content of it. I don't like watching the whole PETA arc. That makes me really sad.
No, PETA gets just beat up.
I hate it. I hate the books.
I'm like, come on. I wanted him to be a little stronger.
I either wanted him to die or just like snap out of it.
Yeah.
And he didn't do either. I mean, they got together in the end, but in the books,
he's so weak in the books. I hated it. I was like, I wanted him to be like a little strong. I don't know.
Man.
I mean, like, it's not even that. Like, he was sensitive and he was like sweet and towards her and stuff, and I like love the contrast between them. But in the books, like, maybe this says more about me than like whatever, and this was the point that the author's trying to make. But like, I just feel like in the book one, Katniss is like, I'll do anything to like save my sister, to like survive, like I'll do anything. And then later it kind of devolves into like, I'll protect PETA at all But then like once he literally in Mockingjay, I think once he gets captured by the Capitol at the end of Catching Fire, and then his like memories all messed up and he like can't tell things. I remember there being moments like she was so insensitive to like PETA and that he couldn't remember, and she like there were points where Hamish was like, can you cool it like a little bit? And I was like, for once I agree.
So mean to him.
She's being so mean to him. I was like, okay, I get that there's like, I like the independent female, like doesn't need to depend on a man, but like it bothered me that like it was making her not care about things anymore that she had used to care about. Like she's all just like survival, like gotta do what's best. But I was like, no, I still wanted her to like care. I love the end of the world romance. Like she would like do anything to save him, even if it meant like risking everything.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted more of that
corny shit.
Yeah, like of course I do. But that's maybe why like
I forgot.
don't know.
Are we cussing on this or no?
That's
can. My bad. Okay. All right. Sorry.
Yeah, don't worry.
Kind of a...
Just don't be like... But,
You're good. Yeah, just add a bunch of beeps. Beep me out.
But yeah, and in this...
just start talking, just... Beep, beep, beep.
You want to do like the fog one?
Oh my god, I'm gonna...
But, I don't know. I liked... What did you think about Corio? Are you like a simp? Are you like...
Well, yes. I mean, like... There's one thing I've noticed.
If he was not hot, would you
even
be a
if he
simp?
was not hot, I think... My thing is, I'm not attracted to blondes either.
Aaron
Ever.
Warner.
Naturally, I'm... well... And when they're
What's
in
the
real
dichotomy
life,
between... I was going to title this book this
maybe I need
podcast.
to start dating blondes.
Maybe. I was going to title this podcast The Dichotomy Between Aaron Warner and Corio.
We need to do that. We need to do that sometime, though, because
no, they're literally... he's so Aaron Warner coded. Like, that's my opinion.
And no, literally, I don't know. I'll dump on here a little bit. Like, but you telling me last night about how, like, what would Warner do?
Every time
It's like,
a man wrongs you, just think, what would Warner do?
Look so very pathetic.
Next.
Like, so scrawny
He
and
was like-
literally stupid.
He would just
Standing
kill
next
anybody.
to any of my fictional male fantasy characters.
That's what I'm saying. The standards are too high now.
Yes, I had to literally stop reading my books when I got into a relationship because it was just like so disappointing. I don't know. I don't care. I'll say it. I don't care. And it's
After the
just like the lengths that, and it's like obviously these books are written by women, so it's like exactly what I want to hear, probably 9 times out of 10. But it's just so like, why not? Why can't I have that? Why can't I have him? Why can't he be real?
Jack, I want to ask you a question as like a newly engaged man, if I'm allowed to say that.
Okay.
But congrats to Jack, by the way.
Thank you.
But what is like? Does your girlfriend or your fiance now? Does she talk about like a lot of stuff like that? Like, does she read a lot of books or like fictional characters and stuff like that?
She doesn't read too many books, but she is like, she's like me. We're both big movie people, and so I guess we'll like compare, not compare each other, no, not that, but like, well, there's a standard, I guess. Like, I don't even know how to describe it, but like, we'll talk about like movie characters and stuff like that, and like, you know, she'll joke sometimes, be like, oh, why can't you be like that guy more?
Oh, yeah.
Big, like, Eddie Redmayne. Eddie
Why
Redmayne's
can't you
her.
be him? And it's like 4 from Divergent, killing people. It's Warner. He's evil.
I gotta say, Top Gun Maverick, when that came out, that was a
I
fun
don't know,
time.
man.
The mustache.
I'd rather
That
take
was
my
a
chances with Aaron Warner, the man who has killed people,
Don't let her read
versus another
Shatter
frat
Me.
boy.
But it's so funny because my friend Grace was on here the other day and she was saying that her boyfriend, she was always like, oh, he's so hot, and then she would show him, he'd be like, yeah.
It'd be like a fictional.
You think it's
I'm
funny?
gonna like
Oh no,
put
we
a picture
do
of, like,
that all the
Yeah,
time
that's
too.
funny.
She'll just be like, "Oh, that guy's super hot." I'm like,
Oh,
"Yeah,
he's so hot.
yeah."
Yeah, it's kind of like you have to be able to like.
You gotta be like,
It's like you're
Go
the one I
on.
want, but like
obviously.
this is the one I read about.
Obviously.
He's in my dreams.
No, and I was talking to my therapist about this the other day. It was so funny because
You're
I
talking
was
to your
like,
therapist about
no,
thirst traps,
no,
thirsting over fictional characters.
I was
Maybe I need to try that. Yeah.
But I was telling her, I was like, my standards, the bar is so high, but like the bar is also so low. But she was
In
like,
real life, it's
Right,
low. It's
and-
pathetic.
and I was telling her, I was like, I just feel like I'm like, I read all these books and it's like so hard now because I'm like, well, now I'm just like, okay, well, this guy would do this. Like, what's everybody
Yeah.
else doing? And she's like, she was telling me, she was like, no, and you shouldn't lower your standards for anything. But she was like, what are ways that we can make them like more realistic and like have more realistic
We need men to read these books.
I was like, yeah,
We need
literally. I don't know
We
what
need
you
to
want me
have a
say
government
that.
mandated reading circle at the library for
Literally,
men.
instead
And
of
they
like
have to go and they have to
books.
sit. Sit. And they have to
Everyone
sit,
has to read Hunger
and they have
Games.
to read.
Literally.
They have to read Shatter Me, at least the
Yeah.
first 3 books.
Oh,
And
I
then
thought
they
you were
have to
going to say
read
at least 3 times. They have to read
3
it.
times.
Well, that
full
too.
series. You're not
No.
allowed to get up. You're not allowed
Watch-
to eat. You're not allowed to drink.
Only
until you're
watch
finished.
edits of choreo on
You have to
TikTok
watch the
on
thirst
repeat.
traps.
What's the one movie where like the guy, his eyes are like open like this and he's forced to like watch all this stuff?
Oh,
Oh,
that's
I know what you're
A
talking
Clockwork
about.
Orange.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I haven't actually seen that, but I just know memes from it. And I'm
Speaking
like,
of dystopian movies, that movie's.
it was a book, wasn't it?
It was a book, yes.
That
It
was
is
bofa.
very disturbing.
I don't know anything about that, but I've heard
It's,
like
yeah.
I've seen like I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about. Well, I know what you're talking about with like
I just
the
know
eyes
a meme thing, but it
But-
looks terrifying. But I'm like, mandate that. they're gonna ban. They're gonna ban.
necessary evil. Everyone has
Listen, they're gonna ban women on
Force
literally
feed them.
everything in their lives.
Yeah,
So I'm like, you can have
the
this
least
one
you
thing.
can do is have a little reading circle.
Yeah.
You can take a nap in between, but like you have to.
You can get some snacks too.
No, no.
Starve them until it's
snacks.
like what's like the sensory adaptation? What's it called? Like the Pavlovs. Like
Oh yeah, we're gonna. No, well, it's just. I think another thing too is like, obviously, like I feel like I would not want to ever be put in any sort of position that any of these main characters are in, which is like life or death.
Yeah.
You're fighting for your life.
Well,
You're battling for things.
make things a little more interesting. I
And
feel
that's
like.
well, but I'd rather go
Survive.
home, doom scroll for an hour,
I'd rather read my
drink
books.
a Red Bull, and
Yeah.
maybe get some Wendy's, than fight for my life. I would just wish, it's just the whole. I think Snapchat ruined everything. Anyway, Hunger Games.
I gotta say, like, I feel like, unfortunately, at least in the city of Indianapolis, it's going in the opposite direction of, like, forcing people to read these books. They're taking them away because, like, they're starting taking, like, John Green's books off the
I
shelves
didn't
and
hear
everything.
about that.
Hunger Games has definitely been banned because I've seen it on a banned book page
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Oh,
There
that's
was-
scary. That's
there-
fascism.
It was
It is
earlier this
literally-
year,
You
yeah.
can say it. You're like, oh.
It was earlier this year, yeah. I think it was, like, some township in Indianapolis basically started taking, like, The Fault in Our Stars and a lot of John
What?
Green's novels off of shelves because
It makes
they-
people buy them more,
at
though.
the Anne Frank house.
because
Yeah.
Why?
like there was sexual content in them. People
Oh.
deemed it
Bro.
was like inappropriate for young adult
Like,
readers.
come-
But then
young adult.
I wrote a paper on something kind of, I
weird.
took a young adult literature class, and I wrote something kind of about this that, like, it wasn't about, like, people banning books, but it was kind of like people who are just they're more interested in controlling people than they are about, like, protecting them. So, like, I wrote something about the difference between, like, young adult literature and new adult literature, which is, like, new adult basically is just, like, my argument was that, like, yeah, it's about age and, like, themes, but it's, like, the content applies more to people who are new adult ages than they do young. So that was my argument, you know? But it's, like, part of what I was saying was, like, people, this is kind of getting skewed because people are, like, trying to restrict people. And so, like, now the genres are getting, like, messed up, I feel
Yeah.
like. Because, like, people are
Well,
just, like, trying to,
yeah.
like,
And it's
anyways.
like to ban, like, they're acting as if this stuff doesn't exist in real life. They're acting as if we're not adults who are going to experience everything in here. Like, well,
I'll never meet Choreo. No one
I
will
would
ever
never probably be in the
do
Hunger
that for
Games.
me.
But
But also, well,
yeah,
I
let's
don't
talk about choreo.
tell me when you have to wrap
Oh
it
no,
up.
I'm
but,
good. Yeah, we're good.
there was one thing that I was gonna say. Okay, well, you tell me first what your perceptions of him and, like, his relationship with Lucy Gray.
Well, first of all, I think it's really funny all the memes that are circulating right now about, like,
It's like, Lucy
we're
Gray.
like, yeah, Lucy Gray, and, like, it's all like, oh, at least he offered to talk things out before he started shooting.
No,
It's
everyone's
literally,
like the bare minimum.
That's so real, and it's just like that. But like I feel like that's such an accurate depiction. I mean, not
Yeah.
with the actual shooting, but it's also like the whole like
He gets mad.
maybe we can work it out. Actually, you're done.
Yeah.
You're done.
Well,
Hate you. Bye.
someone else said, like, everyone take a lesson from Lucy Gray. She caught him in one line.
Exactly.
Like,
She caught the red flag and she just immediately left because if she wouldn't have left,
yeah.
she would have gotten hurt. It's
She would've
all a
died.
metaphor.
Well-
Yeah, she would have died if she got shot. But I'm talking about like if you apply it to real life. It's
Right.
like if you ignore the red flags, you're gonna get hurt.
I was talking to my advisor about this for my English honors project, and I was telling her, I'm like, I love the movie. I have not actually read the book yet, but I kind
I
of
haven't either.
I did that with Hunger Games too. I had watched the movies first and then read the books, which usually
I
I try
read
not.
the books.
Usually try not to do, but I read the Hunger Games way later than, like, I expected, like only, like, in the last year. But which is crazy because
That
I
is
knew everything
crazy.
about them. But anyways, I kind of thought
I read it
that
in like 6th grade, I think. I was obsessed with survival books. Like, did you ever read Hatchet?
we had to. I could not tell you a
Yep.
single
Yes.
thing about it.
Yes.
Loved Hatchet.
Did you ever read
And
City of
then I
Ember?
read this and I thought it was like Hatchet except dystopian. And because I just like I've also always been I don't know why. I always played outside as a kid. Like we didn't
Mm-hmm.
really I didn't like play with toys as much as I would just like go outside and like I don't even know what I would do if I'm being honest.
I used to play with
I was like
bugs
barely
and stuff.
sentient.
I was a
just
weird
like
kid.
playing in the mud, yeah. No, but like, and I was always like, I'm Katniss because I lived in the woods,
Uh-huh.
and so I'd be like, ooh, and so I was super interested in like wilderness survival. So whenever this came out, after like I had just read Hatchet in like 6th grade, I was like, oh, this is awesome.
I don't
and
know
it's from
why
a
I
girl's
didn't read it.
POV,
The absolute
and there's
chokehold.
love.
Well, that was like kind of like, yeah, no, the absolute chokehold though this book had in my middle school because people always they would go through the halls and be like whistling like the
Oh
thing,
yeah,
and then they would
I brought
also
a bow
like,
and arrow to school, and they had to call the police. Okay. We did we did a presentation, and you had to pick your favorite character. Duh. I was Katniss, and I did the braid, and I wore the like all black, and I was like, I'll just bring my bow and arrow because I bought a bow and arrow because of the book. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I was obsessed. And so, yeah, and so I
called the
literally brought it
cops.
and I pulled it back. Like, I locked it and everything. And she was like, no, I wasn't gonna shoot
But
it.
like it could
But like I did it for like part of my presentation, and she was like, "Wait a second, that's a real weapon. You are not allowed to have that in school." And she had to like call my parents. It was a whole thing. And this was in like literally
the police show up.
is it 5th? I think it was 5th grade.
Oh my
actually.
god! They called the cops on you though.
Well, we had like a share like whatever in the building, so like they because it was a huge middle school. I went to a huge middle school.
Me too.
I don't even remember his name, but they like he had to like come and like just take it from me. And
Oh,
then
you
my
mean the
parents
cops?
had to, yeah.
I thought you meant I don't remember the name of my middle school. I was like, really?
Oh God, yeah. I wish I
but-
didn't remember my middle school.
But I remember people like walking the hall, or like every time someone would volunteer for something, they'd be like, "I volunteer as tribute." Like they would say that. It's so funny.
I could whistle
now.
and it would piss me off. I'd be like,
No, but like people
Pretend.
would sing like, "Are you come?" But like it's so funny now. Like thinking back to that, like people were so like there's just the grip that like. And she went to IU. I did talk about this before.
Jennifer, she's from Louisville. Did I tell
Not
you?
Jennifer
Like,
Lawrence, Suzanne
oh.
Collins.
Oh,
Is she from Louisville?
yeah. No, Jennifer. Okay, this is crazy, and I love telling people this fact because I think it's really cool. I mean, there's no way in there's no way in hell that she like trying not to be anyway. There's no way she would ever remember this or probably think twice about it. But my brother played soccer for a team in Louisville, and one of his friends, I can't remember his name. I think it was, I won't say it, but one of his friends played soccer with him was her neighbor.
Oh,
And so,
really?
like, often, like, they would see her, we would see her, like, she would, like, I would have to, like, go with my mom to pick up my brother from his house or, like, do everything because I was the younger sister that just followed him everywhere. And so, like, there were
You
times
actually
where,
met
like,
her?
I was so young because he's
She's gotta
4
be way
years
older.
older than me and she's older, yeah. And so, like, I think she was 20 when Hunger Games was filmed. But I remember seeing that she was Katniss, and I was kind of like, huh?
Alarms.
I was like, huh? So, like, there's times where I'm like, oh my God, like, this is crazy.
You've definitely met her.
But there's
probably.
no way that she would ever remember who I am,
Right.
which makes it sound like I'm lying. But I that's such a, like, why would I lie about
Yeah.
that? But,
for clout.
yeah.
Just kidding.
For clout. Yeah, I know Jennifer, J-Law, we're besties.
Yeah.
She remembers me.
Yeah. Well, this is what I was gonna say, and then you talked about your bow.
Yeah, and then I shot my bow and arrow at school.
You killed somebody. Anyways, I was gonna say I was talking to my advisor about this, and she was like, "Yeah, I heard like a lot of people don't like it, or like something like that." I think like
Really?
the critics will say, "Oh, I don't like
The
shut up."
critics.
Like,
Yeah.
get a different job.
The critics
Anyways,
didn't like Five Nights at Freddy's.
but my sister didn't like it either. But anyways,
didn't
With
even, like,
Hunger
I
Games
didn't
alone,
actually-
Josh Hutcherson.
I love Josh Hutcherson. Oh, that's a connection.
Remember, he kept calling him like Jaja Hutchison.
Jaja Hutchison. Jaja Hutcherson.
But anyways, I was talking to her about it, and I was like, the reason I think I really liked this book is the fact that there could be a main character, and he is so like every book is based on like the character's flaws, and then like working through their flaws and getting and like overcoming them by the end and like learning a lesson. Even though it sounds cheesy, that's what every book is
Yeah,
like. You
pretty
know?
much, yeah.
And even if it's like minuscule and you can't really tell, but like in this book, I really liked it because it's like, well, Corio's flaws in the end, they win, and you don't really get to see that a lot. It's like the main character, you know, kind of.
he is just...
And of course, there's
flawed.
there's plenty of villains maybe who are the main character, but like she did it in a way that just, even though I was rooting for like their relationship, even though I wanted to be together, and like just the fact that she could pull out the rug and I was still satisfied with the story. Like, it was just, like, so phenomenally done. Like, I just love that there can be a character who is, like, he's morally gray, but then, like, the dark side
Gray.
kind of wins. Like, that's why I love
he gray?
Anakin so much. Like, I can't get how
I
you
can't do Star Wars.
you would love him. He's,
Anakin? Oh, I've seen, like, the first 3.
he just has a good, or, like,
The prequel 3.
you've
It's
seen
like his
Avatar, right?
backstory. Yeah.
Cartoon?
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
like Zuko, like he has such a good arc.
Yeah.
But he's good by the end. But like I love that like the villain comes full circle. Like whatever the
And
closing
he's
of the
just
circle
still
is.
evil.
like he still kind of had like the same.
It
But anyways, that's
humanizes him the perfect amount. I feel
Yes.
like it makes you realize like he wasn't just. I mean, he wasn't just like evil for no reason.
Like,
I mean,
Warner-
kind of, but like
This is a spoiler, but like Warner, you know, I'll never stop talking about him.
spoiler.
I've talked about him every single episode. I'm pretty sure.
It never goes away.
Jack's like, please shut up. But he like literally killed somebody, but like later on it
But-
gets justified. It's like the guy was like a murderer, or like he like was bad to his family, or like he was doing something bad.
It's like
I
you
don't
find
remember.
out something about him that's like, oh, he's not just like evil.
And then
Like,
there's one scene where he like I don't know if you got to this part, but you must have. But it's like where his mom dies.
yeah, I do.
And
I have been to that.
and like Juliet, he's like
Aw,
crying
she
to
gets
Juliet,
him.
and she's never seen him like this before. It like humanized him. I love it. And then Kenji's
He's like a
there,
little
invisible,
baby.
and Kenji's
Aw.
like uses his invisible
Kenji.
powers, and he sees him, and everyone thinks Warner's evil, but then like I love the moments when he's like, wait, he's not supposed to be human. Like I
My
love
kink
that.
is vulnerability. Who said it?
Literally,
If you can like, and I feel like it's specifically endearing for
Yeah.
a man because it's like we live in a society, whatever, they can't feel their feelings,
Right.
whatever. But
they
it's
can be
just, like,
comfortable around you.
to see a man like actually just feel
Mm-hmm.
and actually just experience, because we have to feel everything. I don't know why. I mean, like, whatever, but and it's just
Once
like
a month, I don't
to
get a
see-
choice.
Yeah, once a month it's like it's out the window. No, but and it's just like, yeah, like, and it's like to see him so upset about Lucy Gray, or like
yeah,
to see
that's
him
literally what
actually
it is.
upset over
Yeah.
his friend who died. I mean, it was his low-key his fault that
But
Sejanus.
it shows like how complicated of a
But,
character he is. That
yeah.
he's the flattest, worst villains are the ones who are just like, I want to rule the world. I'm evil. But
money, power, status.
it's when
Yeah.
they get humanized characteristics that like balance them out, that make you kind of like see their side and empathize with them a little bit. It makes, when they start doing bad things again, it makes it so much like, oh, like
Oh.
like don't do that. But I don't know. That's why I think he's such a good villain. I think he is. The actor Tom Blythe is so even my older sister was like, ooh, I gotta follow him.
I loved. Is it Hunter Schafer? Is that her or their
Who?
Tigress? Who
I don't
the
know.
character who played Tigress? They're also in Euphoria. I can't remember.
Someone told me.
They
You
were
told me that.
very good. I loved
I've
their
never
character,
seen
but I wish
Euphoria.
it would have gone more into that, because apparently there, like, I've just seen on Book Talk that there's like so much more that they
Yeah.
can't go into because it would be like a 10-hour movie. But like, I've also heard that they changed a lot of the deaths are completely different.
I need to
like,
read this book. I
mean,
have it right
spoiler
here.
alert, but like apparently that's not at all how Wovey dies. Apparently Wovey dies the way that Dill died, by drinking the water. Apparently that they like switched places for some reason, and then Dill just died of tuberculosis, like actually just illness. And like there's just so much that was changed. I'm kind of like, what was the
Reason.
like why?
Well, maybe if I read it, I can understand. Maybe they had to
Yeah.
do it quicker or something, or
Yeah.
like, because I thought,
They
you
had to
know,
do some
like
shortcuts.
the other first two books, it's like they had the Hunger Games was the whole movie essentially.
Yeah.
This one, it was like Act 2, and then or like Act 1, almost.
yeah.
Well, I would say Act 2, and that's like the whole Hunger Games, and then it's like then the rest of it's like now they're out.
Yeah, now what?
Yeah. But I do like how in the movie theater they like kind of stayed true to like the way it was broken up. Like they do like part one. I love
part
that.
two.
Yeah,
I know.
'cause
When
that's
it hit
how-
part 3, I was like, oh, I had to go to the bathroom so bad. I was literally like, I
I
had
always
that
get
extra
frozen
large
Coke.
Diet Coke. Yeah.
I always get the ice. It's tradition. We always get the icy, and then I
Aw,
drink it
that's
so
good.
fast. But I don't know. My family's a big movie family. But this one, and the Olivia Rodrigo song at the end. Like you don't like
I
it?
don't.
I'm not like a huge
okay,
pop
I
girl,
love
but like
Olivia Rodrigo. I just like, I feel like the problem with her voice now is it's becoming like the same thing with Taylor Swift. It's so recognizable
mhm.
that it makes any song that she sings, it's just like, oh, this is an Olivia Rodrigo song. So it doesn't feel like this is a Hunger Games song. It's like, oh, this is just another song she has.
I will agree to
And it's
disagree.
kind of like shoved.
The song feels different to me. Like,
Is it the
if you
I'm
listen
in
to the lyrics?
trees, I'm in-"
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, I can't listen to it too many times because I get sick of it. But like, I feel like it's different than her other songs. I mean, it's
Well,
the
for
same.
sure,
It's the
yeah.
same. Like, obviously her style, but like, I just thought it was. If you listen to the lyrics more, and maybe you have, but like, I just the first time seeing it, because like I feel like everybody loves books and stuff, but like. This is gonna make me sound so pretentious.
Oh God.
But like I feel like sometimes I feel things differently about books because like I'm looking at like the storytelling and like I'm
You're
paying
looking deeper
I'm
into
looking
it.
at like the way she wrote it and like the way the characters are built and stuff like that because I want to write stuff. I don't just like, you know, everyone's like, oh, I love him, like I love this point, I love this plot, but I'm like, I'm looking at like how she did it because I'm like trying to compute how she did it. You know,
well, that's because you're a writer.
that's
Yeah.
why. But like, maybe sound pretentious, but like I loved it so much, and then listening to the song with the lyrics at the end, it just all came full circle to me.
That's fair. Yeah.
I don't know, because I don't know, after I had watched the movie and then I was seeing a bunch of like TikToks and stuff with the sound, I was like, it almost made me like want to cry because I was like, I just
Aw.
love the song so much, but I can't
Yeah,
listen to
it
it
was-
really too much,
Oh,
otherwise
yeah.
I'll get sick of it.
I know. I think that's the
I-
other thing. It's like because it was a TikTok song and it was on TikTok before I saw the movie, and I think if literally anyone else sang it, like if. And maybe I am biased because, like, I don't know. I'm not, like, an Olivia Rodrigo stan. I mean, I don't hate her. I just don't, like,
Right.
go to her music usually.
Me
But,
neither.
if Lana sang that, I'd probably eat it up. I'd probably be
That's
like, yup, it's so good. So, like, I get it.
Yeah.
But
Okay, yeah. But
he keeps catching me.
any closing points about this
I
book
feel
that you would
we
like to share?
spiraled so much.
That's
We just
usually
talked
how it
about
goes.
everything
So
else.
I mean, like if I have stopped trying to do scripts of any.
Yeah.
The first one I was like, okay, guys, I have a script, and then it just doesn't happen anymore. But anyways, what are your closing thoughts on this book? If you were to say one final thing,
Oh, God.
one sentence
Oh, God.
or two.
Probably that just about this book specifically, I enjoyed the movie. The cinematography almost, I don't know if it was the cinematography or the acting maybe. I don't know. It felt too refined to me a little
Okay,
bit.
that's
The
fair.
movie specifically. It didn't feel like a Hunger Games movie, really. I mean,
Because it's from the capital.
I know,
Really?
but like I think it was just like in the presentation. It didn't feel
That's
like a
fair,
Hunger Games
that's
movie.
fair.
There was no like shaky. It was all smooth. I don't know how to
It's-
explain it.
When
like,
was the last Mockingjay? Like, it was made.
it was a while ago.
Right,
Yeah. So
right.
like obviously
Different
film has
directors, too.
changed and yeah.
There's
but,
definitely different styles because movies nowadays
Yeah.
are made like this.
Oh,
So maybe
yeah.
that's why I'm more receptive to it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess my last thought would be I don't get why. What's her name? Rachel Zegler.
Yeah.
I don't get the hate around her. Everybody hates her because of her Snow White stuff.
But yeah, and she just said one stupid thing, and it wasn't even that bad.
I think it is so.
it's not like it was offensive.
This is my soapbox. I think she gets so much hate, and it's probably because like whatever. Maybe
it's
she
literally
would,
just because she's cringe. That's
maybe it was like I don't know, like maybe it was a little more. I haven't even seen all of the video, or I feel like I have, like the interviews people are talking about, and everyone in the comments is like, I hate her, like she
I
ruined
hate
her
her so
career,
much.
and I'm like, no, she didn't. She didn't. I
She
mean,
just said
I
one
think
silly
she just
thing.
gets so much hate when people have done so much worse, and I think it's ridiculous. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I think she's a successful woman. She's good at singing. She's
a really
talented.
good singer.
And I think it's ridiculous that people are hating on her this much. I mean, you can be like, bro, what was that about? Like I mean, you're being a
cringe,
little
lame,
dramatic, but like,
boo.
she's getting like hatred, and
Yeah.
it's like literally from men, probably. I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's from
'Cause
both, but like, because at first I was kind of
I-
like, why is she in the Hunger Games? Like,
It
I
like
wish it was
impressioned
someone
me too. At
else.
first,
Yeah.
I thought that too. I was like, what am I thinking?
but then
I hate
yeah.
that. But anyways,
Okay.
anything else?
Um,
No.
What was it?
I like Tom
what was
Blythe.
gonna
I want to
say?
watch his other movies.
One more thing. I have one more thing
Mhm.
that I forgot to bring up earlier. But have you seen the conspiracy about how when he takes the guns from the shack and he goes over to the lake and he like sets them in the water and he sets it down like so slowly and carefully that some people are saying that he hallucinated. He actually did. Like the snake venom was poisonous. He hallucinated and he actually did kill her. And that was him just putting her into the water. And he was like hallucinating.
I don't know.
I don't know if that's real.
I did wonder because I was wondering like why. Because he picked up her scarf and stuff, and like I was kind of wondering. I'm like they never. One thing that this is what I want to know, and maybe it's meant to be like left unknown. This is the last thing I'll say. Sorry, but like
you're good.
Lucy Gray. They never really say, like, it's implied that maybe he thought he killed her, maybe not.
Yeah, it's
I haven't read the book, so I don't know what he actually thought. But, like, I'm just wondering, like, now that we know what Snow looked like when he was older. We know he survived.
What she looks like now.
I'm like, well, did he ever find her? Like, he has the means to have found her.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
So, he probably didn't want to.
No, but, like, he would have wanted to, you would think, you know, by that old age.
I feel like he's so complex, so he would be like, I can't see her, or I will spiral or something.
I think he would want to find her.
Or he would want to just kill her. Like, I feel like he did get, like, that stone cold after so long of just being, like you're pretty evil. But there's also the conspiracy, I'll be quick, of Coin being Lucy Gray, which I don't think is...
They're different races.
I know. But it's, like, not canon. But, like, I've
maybe in the
so
book.
much
I don't know
YouTube,
what race she
but,
is.
like, yeah, in the book. It was before the movie came out, so a lot of people were speculating that because of the book. But, like, they say she ran up north. She went to District 13, which on the map is up north.
There's no way.
And she got in. And she wanted, and it would literally be Lucy Gray versus Snow.
That would have been
that's
cool.
why the ending would have been like her and Snow.
I bet you if they would have thought of that earlier, they could have done that.
Oh yeah.
But because there was no like tension in the in Mockingjay or whatever between Snow and Coin.
That we
in the
know
movie.
In the movie.
Anyways, we could talk about this for years.
Another time. I could literally talk about this.
But I guess I'll wrap it up there. I don't have a book recommendation except for this one. I usually end with a book rec. But thank you guys for listening. And I probably won't be here for a couple months because it's winter break. But yeah, thank you, Abby. Thank you, Jack. And I'll see you later.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye.